Hey guys, it's Zon. What is going on? And today I am bringing y'all an update on the DayZ Standalone. Yesterday a post was made on the DayZ Tumblr highlighting graphic updates, customization, and alpha and beta testing, and just kind of where the game is as far as a development standpoint. I know y'all have been looking forward to an update like this. I sure have. So I'm going to be going over some of the main points in this video and talk about some of my opinions as to what will happen with the game and when it might be released. So the first topic I'm going to talk about is the lighting and material improvements. They said that this improvement from the Arma 2 mod really would help the world come to life more. As when you're playing Arma 2, there's a sun glare, and if you've played for a while, you've noticed sometimes the screen would kind of flicker between nighttime and afternoon. There wasn't really a blend, and there was a blend, but as far as lighting goes, there weren't too many shadows that were real distinct. I mean, you could see the shadow, but it didn't gradually move back into sunlight. And that was just the engine they were using. The Arma 2 engine wasn't super good as far as that, making the world come to life. It was meant to be a simulation. But now it's becoming more of an MMO, and they're definitely putting more time into the graphics of the game, specifically the lighting. This engine they're using is the engine from a game called Take on Helicopters. Rocket described it as kind of like an Arma 2.5 engine. It's in between the Arma engine being used for Arma 3 and the Arma 2 engine. But there are some screenshots here that kind of express that. The plane crash there and a few others, a field, and you can see the castle there. But a lot of that just helps express the graphics and how it's changed from the original Arma 2 version. Next up is new server architecture, and the main point within this point is hacking. Contrary to popular belief, many thought DayZ would be releasing without any anti-hack mechanism. BattleEye was Arma 2's supposed to be the anti-hack thing that didn't really work, but anyway, it will be, anything's hackable as Rocket has explained, and DayZ will be having an anti-hack mechanism. However, the server itself, they're working on the server itself to be to their best ability hack-free. So there will be an anti-hack mechanism, just a much better one than BattleEye was, and also just the servers themselves will be much better than the Arma servers were. As I mentioned before, Arma was never meant to be PvP server game. It was supposed to be a simulation. There is a deathmatch on there and all that, I know. But anyway, that's the main thing as far as new server architecture is concerned, is the anti-hacks. There will be other functions, as they are trying to make this game into an MMO style game, and the Arma servers weren't designed that way. So these servers will be much more MMO-like, and they are coordinating with Steam to make sure that this works. Another big factor that I know I exploited, and I'm sure a lot of you did, was the idea of zombie spawns. When you're traveling to a new town and you're in the bush line before you get out to the town, you can look and see if zombies are there, and that was always a sign that, either a player's there or he was recently there, and to be careful and maybe move on or just camp the town until you see him. They're trying to work on having loot and zombie spawns spawn at server initiation. In other words, they're always there. They'll never despawn unless the server restarts, or they're picked up, or the items are picked up, or zombies killed, or something like that. So hopefully that would work. I would love that to happen. It's an exploit that everyone uses, and if it's there, people are going to use it. You can't not use that. Even if you don't want to, you see it, like, I'm on my guard now because someone's there. You don't really have the choice not to use it, even if you don't want to. So as far as that goes, I think that's a great achievement they're working towards, and hopefully it'll work. This will help with metagaming, and And so that's basically the main aspects of the new server architecture that they're working on. I'm sure they'll add some more stuff in, but as far as this update was concerned, those are the main points they are working on. Another topic they've mentioned is clothing and inventory status. As far as clothing is concerned, they made it clear that clothing will also have diseases on them. You can get sick from wearing clothes. In the mod, there's basically survivor clothing, camo clothing, and ghillie suit. That was basically it. There were a few maps, such as the Mollusk, that had warm clothes, and you could put that on, but that was a mod. As far as standalone is concerned, I don't know, they didn't say how many different options of clothes there are. I'm sure there will be multiple ones, more than just 3. More than just, probably multiple types of civilian clothing as well. But we do know that clothes will have diseases on them, as you can get sick, and there will also be a durability function, or part to that as well. So the more or longer you wear the clothes, or you can damage the clothes, and whatever choices you make might hinder those clothes useless, or render those clothes useless as time goes on. So that's pretty cool. They do have it completed to a basic level, so that's nice. They will need to make a few more changes as far as character modeling. Once that's done, they will release a video outlining how it looks to change your clothes in the standalone. So that sounds pretty awesome. Not too much about inventory, as they say. They have completely overhauled it. As I said before, it is completed to a basic level. So that's nice. Obviously that means probably it's playable. They just have to finish some character modeling before that can work. And hopefully after that's done, we can get some beta testing going. Alright, customizing your character. This is a very big part of DayZ Standalone and of the design team. They're really focused on doing this, and if you actually read the actual post or section in this post, it kind of leads to the game being probably released next year. Yes, I'll read the quote here. The design has now really ramped up. This is really the entire focus of our efforts for the next few months, prior to starting on vehicle customization and finally on base building at the end of the year. So by reading that, it's obvious, it's not coming out pretty soon. They've really decided to step back from rushing the project. They want to make this a solid game, and I completely respect that. I think that's a great decision. I would rather have a solid game now, or a solid game later than semi-crap, maybe little better modded than in the mod game now. I know we have to wait some more, but patience is a virtue. Best to learn it. But anyway, back to character customization. It's looking like a lot of fun. As I mentioned before, there are clothes you can do. You can find clothes and wear them. But when you start the game, you can create your character. The options will be pretty simple, but you can change the way you interact with people, and such as clothing. You can wear hats, you can put on glasses, and in Arma 2, you could pick that at the beginning, but like in the game, as you're playing, you see some glasses. Hey, I want to put on those glasses, or hey, I want to put on that bomber jacket because it looks cool. I don't know if they're going to be bomber jackets or not, but I'm just saying as an example. So instead of having to pick your clothes, or well, I guess, pick your character's face, and what he wears at the beginning of the game before you spawn in, you can do that in game, such as just like clothing. There's a picture of boots earlier. I believe it doesn't say anything here, but I'm going to assume that there are shoe choices as well. You can choose what kind of shoes you want to wear and how you look there. Along with clothing, there's also another idea of symbolism, or another idea of customization as far as the social aspect. And that's tattoos. They mentioned they want to really put it through the development of people's own symbology in game, what they want to express. And tattoos is one of them. Markings on the world, weapons, etc. Quote, "We feel that these redeveloped social experiences told through the game will be a compelling part of the standalone." And I think when it may mention weapons there, for those who've played Black Ops, the first one, you could put a little mark on your gun. I mean, that's the best example I can come up with as far as markings. I would assume that's what it is. Maybe they're referring to skins for the gun. That could be true, and that'd be great as well. I'd love to see different weapon skins for the different terrains you'll be in. But that's kind of as far as character customization, what they talked about. Clothing, the face, glasses, hats, shoes, weapons, tattoos, things of that nature. It looks like a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. And last but certainly not least is weapon customization. He didn't give much on this. He did say there would be a lot of attachments you would find kind of as a byproduct of searching and finding things. One thing that he mentioned very early on when the game was first announced as a standalone, and even during the mod, what he originally wanted that just Arma 2 couldn't do, was to have attachments you could find to your weapon. In the current mod, all you can do is find a gun that already has the attachments on it, or doesn't have an attachment at all. In the standalone version, you might find a gun, and then later on you might find an attachment with it later, or you might find a red dot scope, or a grenade launcher, or an ACOG scope. It just depends on what you find. And I think that's another customizing, or a feature of weapon customization that is just crucial. And as I mentioned before, skins is another thing that might have to do with weapon customization. He doesn't mention it here. He does mention, as far as specific details in regards to the magazine. I'm going to quote this real quick. Nothing is available to show on this yet. Currently, the only attachment we have fully configured in the game is the magazine. You must load the magazine with ammunition, and then it is considered an attachment to the weapon. The quantity and condition of your magazines will be particularly important in the standalone. Look after them. So that sounds pretty cool. I don't know many games where you actually have to load the magazine first and then load it in the gun. Arma 2 does have that feature of you fire 3 rounds and then you reload. You don't get those 3 rounds back in a different magazine. They're still in the other magazine. Doesn't conserve your ammo like COD does or something. So that's a realistic part to it. But that sounds great. Magazines where you have to count the ammunition or make sure it's loaded, and make sure your magazines are clean or whatever, in good condition. That sounds great. Another thing I heard, it's not in this post, but I read somewhere they would like to take out the counter of ammo on the HUD. Kind of make it more realistic. You know, if you're a fighter in the army, you kind of have to memorize how many rounds are in your clip or how many rounds you have left before you switch ammo, or I don't know, until you just start clicking. But that's an idea that Rocket mentioned in the past. They don't mention it here, so I don't know if they're actually going to go with that or not. It might be something they work on later in the game, but that is definitely something to consider for the standalone. So, final thoughts. There's another topic here I want to kind of include in this concluding portion of the video. There's a topic titled, "When is it releasing?" And the first sentence is, "We don't know." It says we're taking our time. Rocket feels fantastic about the situation. He's very confident in what they're doing now. They're not being rushed. They're going to take some time. As I mentioned, it's most likely going to be released next year, since they're going to still be working at it towards the end of the year. I don't know that. That's an assumption I'm making. It's very possible it could come out this year, but that's just my, I guess, opinion of what might happen. Anyway, as far as concluding words go, I feel like this is a great step towards the right direction. I'm glad that DayZ developers and Rocket sent this to us, or sent this out to the public for us to read. A lot of us and Team America were kind of concerned about what's going on, when is it happening. We want to know what's happening. We want to see something, because we didn't know what was going on. Last we saw was that post that Rocket put on Reddit, and we were kind of concerned, like, what's going on, what's going to happen. But I'm very happy to see this. I'm glad things are going okay. It sounds like a lot's been done. It sounds like a lot's going to be done, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm super excited. Have to wait a little longer, but there's no harm in that. We'll just keep toning our skills with Arma 2 and other games. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little review of the update for DayZ Standalone. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the comments section. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day.